What's up, everybody? It's Helen Edwards with Sexy Freedom Media Podcast. And today I have a really awesome guest, and I'm really excited that Janae is on with us. And please, Janae, tell everybody who you are.
Hey guys, I am Janae. I am the host of Confessions from a Red Couch podcast. That's the couch. It's a podcast all about improving the relationship with yourself, so you don't take your trash to others, because no one wants your unresolved issues. And this is like mainly lessons that I've learned through life, traversing life and learning that, girl, you need to get your mess together. so,
Yes, I love that.
so I
Wow.
just wanted to share it with the world, and here we are.
And here we are. So, Janae, I love how we connected. We connected through a podcast group on Facebook.
Mhm.
And, one of the things I love most is when people are fearless in connecting, because I found that some people want to connect, they feel it in them, but then they don't do it. And
So
then
true.
others like us, we're like, yes, it's like going fishing and catching a fish and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is when you do meet with somebody and you talk to them and find out what they're about, you're like, oh my gosh, it's like a message or some kind of
Mhm.
connection you really needed to hear, especially for that day.
Mhm.
And confessions on a red couch.
Yeah.
First of all, I love your red couch. I can tell it
Thank
looks
you.
velvety.
Thank you.
There's
It
some-
is. I need to get a new one. This one's kind of getting old, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I love the colors too. The
Mhm.
the turquoise in the background and everything.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a painting in my gym room right now with turquoise and orange. So
Oh,
I
that's
like that.
amazing. Yeah. These are like my calming colors. I love them so much. Like,
Mm,
it just calms me. It makes me feel good. I don't know. It reminds me of the ocean, to be honest. I love,
mhm.
like, my house is full of colors, and this is like one of the rooms where when I come in, I'm like,
Yes. So the red couch. Now, when did you start this podcast and why did you start it? You mentioned just a little bit, but really like
Mhm.
how does it hit home for you and keeps you motivated to keep doing it?
Okay, so I started as a podcast. It will be 2 years, January 29th. 2 years. But it was a blog first. So I started as, it still is, it's Confessions from a Red Couch blog. And I started it at a time in my life where everything just kind of felt like, I don't know. I have no clue, to be honest. I was diagnosed with a blood clot,
Mm,
that no one knows how I got it, especially in the place that I got it. So I had to get rushed to ICU, and trying to figure all that out. And then I'm a type A personality. So it was crazy because I couldn't control it. You know how you just can't control it?
right.
So that brought on the anxiety disorder that I was diagnosed with. And my doctor was like, you need to take some time off from work because you
Mm,
need to learn how to rest. First of all, your body needs to heal because you have this blood clot. Second of all, your mind needs to heal because you are going like I was going like a mad woman when it happened. And I always say the blood clot was a blessing because it made me
mm.
sit down and evaluate my life. And so from there, I started blogging because it was a day where I wanted to be at work. I wanted to, I had to get some things done. And the doctor just, they even told the people, like the people at my job were like, if you show up here, we're going to have you escorted and you're going to get sent home. I was like, wait,
Wow.
what I do? And so it, like, really, I sat down on my couch, the red couch, like literally, and I had quiet time. And in those thoughts, I was like, what is wrong with you that you can't sit down in quiet time? Like,
Mm,
what are you rushing to fill your life with? Like, what are you doing? So I started my first blog and I just kind of got it out there. And I made it a routine to do it every week. And I started sharing it on my Facebook with my friends. And my friends was like, girl, I do that too. It's like, oh, people are relating to me. I'm not alone.
mm,
And so it just kept building and kept building. And turned it into I didn't want to turn it into a podcast because I didn't want to people to hear my voice and I didn't want anybody to see my face. And I met my amazing husband it's been about 5 years. And when we got together, he was like, "Oh, you blog?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Did you ever think about a podcast?" I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And so the year when he proposed, he was like, "So what we're also going to do is turn your blog into a podcast." And I was still like, "No." And but he pushed me and he supported me, and 10 days after we got married, I launched the podcast.
Nice. Well done.
Mhm.
Cheers to your husband. That's pretty cool. Sounds like he's a good supporter and that,
He is.
pushing you to go forward with your goals and anything
Mhm.
that maybe you're resistant to that really needs to be heard. So,
Yes.
what is your podcast specifically about? Or is it
So
maybe an all around thing?
it's kind of all around, but I mainly focus on self-love and self-care, mental health and wellness, because I mean, you see it now, like we in America, we've just been through hell. Let's be honest. It has been crazy. And 2020 was kind of a kicker. And so I really focus on making sure that you're okay and stop people pleasing or figuring out why you
Mm,
want to people please. Getting down to the root of why you are the way you are, and making sure that your relationship with yourself isn't toxic. Because when it is, you see how you treat other people. Your relationships with other people are toxic. So it's
mhm.
mainly about loving yourself, taking care of yourself, spending time with yourself, all
So
those
let
good.
me ask you, Janae,
Mhm.
are you happy?
I Okay, that's a very good question. I am happy at times. I don't believe that. I believe that majority of my life is happy.
Mm,
I can
mm,
say that. I accept when things go wrong. That doesn't bring me joy, so I can't say I'm always happy. Like, I have to be
right.
truthful with myself.
Yes.
So overall, am I happy? Yes. Am I happy every day? No.
Yeah. Great answer. And with this relationship you have with yourself,
Mhm.
what besides, the sitting on the couch and saying to yourself, like, why can't I just sit here? What were
Mhm.
some other indications that you felt disconnected from that relationship with yourself?
Um, I was a people pleaser. I would
Mm,
work really hard for other people and wouldn't put in the same time for myself. And and I could see that at the job that I was in. It was a really stressful and I want to say abusive type situation with my
mm,
job. They were taking advantage of me and I was allowing it because I felt that if I continue to pour in and pour out of myself and, neglect myself and show these people that I'm dedicated and determined for them, that maybe they would see me and, some other things would happen. Well, yeah, it happened. I got sent home. I
yeah.
got sick.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Mhm.
felt it in your body. Your body
Yeah.
took the hit. Hmm.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
when you
And
recognized it, uh-huh.
I was gonna say I still feel that way. My body tells me now, like I pay attention to my body a
Mm,
lot more now. When I feel aches and pains and I feel ran down, I start to look at, my overall situation. It allows me to kind of self-reflect, like, hey, you shouldn't be feeling like this all the time. What's going on?
So you
Mhm.
kind of have a self-talk with yourself.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, on a day-to-day basis, you mentioned, overall being happy, but not every day is happy. So what do you do in regards to this relationship with yourself that you maybe besides talking to yourself, let's just say you're having a really rough day and you're starting to
Yeah.
feel it in your body. Like,
Mhm.
how long does it take you before you're like, let's figure out how we can make at least you okay?
It doesn't take me long. And like I said, I think that whole other incident has allowed me, like I honestly do a self-reflection at the end of the day every day. Like I
Mm,
see how my day went. I'd love to journal. So I write down like things that went good during the day, things that caused me stress, like what was a stressor. And then I do identify like, okay, so how are you feeling? What's going on in your body? And I am a big believer in going to sleep. Like if I start to
yeah.
feel too run down, I'm like, okay, girl, you need a nap. You need to go to bed early
Hmm.
tonight. So I am just so I can rejuvenate because that's what we do when we sleep. Our body heals, we rejuvenate. And then if you're really anxious, like it'll manifest in your dreams. So you just
Oh
But
yeah.
that's a good way of identifying, what's happening in my body. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sleep is good. I'm a big proponent of sleep.
I am too. I love that.
Mhm.
Did you get some good sleep today?
I did not. I've been anxious lately. I'm a teacher by trade, so it's a lot of anxiety going on in that world, and it's been manifesting a lot in my sleep. Like I jump up and I'm anxious, so I spend my mornings. I make myself be peaceful.
Right.
I listen to music. I meditate just so I can get myself calm, so
Mhm.
that I can function for the rest of the day.
I love how self-aware you are.
Mhm.
So you're a teacher. What
Mhm.
grade do you teach?
I teach high school science, physics, and
Ooh,
chemistry.
some high school kids. No
Yeah,
wonder.
yeah. I love them though. I do love them. I love them, but it is just teaching during a pandemic has taught me a lot of things. One thing is people really don't care too much about teachers,
Mm,
but it's okay. We're not in it for the people. We're in it for the kids. So
wow,
that-
good
that's the
statement.
number one. Yeah, that's what you really have to continue to focus on in the bad times. Like, what is my why? Why am I doing this?
Yeah. Well,
Mhm,
there's a lot of people that remember their teachers from a young age and those that
mhm,
had had an effect on them. And I'm sure you are with somebody that's so self-aware and
mhm.
it sounds like you're into self-development, self-growth, self-care, especially.
Yes.
How do
Mhm.
you bring that to your teaching environment?
I so everything that I do for myself, I make sure my kids do it. So in the mornings, I tell them my first period class or just any class before we get started. Sometimes I'm like, okay, we're just going to sit and take 3 deep breaths. We're going to decompress before we get started.
Mm,
Whatever happened before you came to the class, that's in the past. We're here now. This is a safe space because I love you guys. And I just give them that space because a lot of people don't understand teenagers being teenagers now is totally different from when I was a teenager.
oh
It's
yeah.
we dealt with some things, but they are dealing with some stuff. So it's good that I just want them to always feel safe.
Yeah.
If anything, they can always like know Miss Strickland made me safe, and she let me know that she loved me and she really cared about me. So I always try to bring in that whole let's mellow out, let's chill out. We got this, we're gonna do it together type vibe for them.
Yeah. I love
Mhm.
that. I think that's a big role that you've taken on, doing, well, first of all, being a teacher. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think being
Oh,
a
thank
teacher
you.
is so rad. I wanted to be one, but then when I saw I had to go to school for it, I was like, never mind, I'm done with school.
Go
But
and do it. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's amazing. You're right. Some people take teachers for granted, and the fact that you're a teacher who's self-aware, and you go in and you try to bring that awareness and that self-love and kind of
Mhm.
like an awareness of medicine, to the even
Yeah.
breathing. Like everybody take a
Mhm.
deep breath, and
Yeah.
teenagers need that. They're kind of
They
like all
do.
over the place with their hormones.
They are. They are crazy. Like one day they're crying because somebody dumped them. The next thing, they're happy because somebody else texted them. And then this drama started because of it's like, hey, chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah, there's more to come. Trust me.
Yeah,
Wait
there's
till
more
you get
to
to adult.
come. Like, chill.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
it's
with
real.
I, you're just amazing already. I mean, I knew you were. I just knew you were. But you're just shining, and everything you've done with the blog, and you touch on one of the biggest subjects that I am very passionate about, which is,
Mhm.
having a good relationship with yourself in order to have it with others.
Yeah,
So obviously, I'm going to talk about your husband real quick because
you can do
relationships are a
it.
big deal.
It
I've
is.
seen people break apart. I've broken apart. I'm sure
Mhm.
you've broken apart because
Yeah.
of relationships and how they
Mhm.
can either help you or drain you or
Yes.
literally take people down.
Mhm.
And you've got to have a good relationship with yourself.
Do.
So
You
how
do.
did your blog was already started, so you were
Mhm.
probably already on that path. Meeting
Mhm.
your husband, what was there kind of some kind of talk discussion? How did you know he was good fit for you who done all this work and doing this work for yourself?
Because he knew when we met, So I'll say this and he'll say this, and people who love me know this. I'm a flirt. I'm a Leo. I'm a flirt. I can't help it. It's fine. It was fun. It's fun. I still flirt. It's fine. So when I met him, he just looked like a big old teddy bear. And I was like, I
Oh.
might be good for a friend. Let me flirt around. But I really wasn't looking to get into a relationship when I met him.
Mm.
I figured I still needed more work to do with myself. So I was like, I'm good. Like we could be friends, but mm, like I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm good. But he stuck around and he saw what I was doing. He read my blogs when we were dating, and he would always like talk about it. And I don't know. He saw something in me, and I love him for it. But he saw through my closed off heart, because I had closed my heart off just to focus on me,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I gave myself permission to do that. But he really did see past that wall, and he was like, "Girl, stop it." Like, lower all that toughness. I'm gonna be your man whether you want to. It was like, I'm a
Oh.
and I was like, why? For real? Like, I'm giving you that. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be your man. I was like, okay. So I mean, and we let it grow organically. It wasn't anything rushed or anything. But I love the fact that he stated his intentions. Like it was
Mm.
never like, oh, I might be in, I might not, we'll see where it goes. It was, no, I want to be your partner. I want
Mm.
you to be my partner. So what do you have to say about it? And when he did that, I was like, oh, like, and so he saw past all of that, and he's just loved me through the process. My good days, my bad days. With him, his good days and his bad days. I think it's good that we had established boundaries before it all happens. So he knows when I just need space, and he respects that and honors that. He knows when I need to be in his face to bother him because I'm agitated, you know. And I love that about him. I don't know. It's just he's we support each other, we love each other. We've talked about our traumas in our past, and I'd never done that with anybody else. So I knew once that was happening and we still loved each other through it, it was like, well, I guess we ain't going nowhere. We stuck. No.
Were you like, what's your sign?
I did. He's a
Ah,
Scorpio and I'm a Leo. I was like, ew, no.
whoa, whoa, that's some fire
No.
right there.
Right? And I mean, but it works. We work so well. We're just so compatible. And I don't know. I really don't see myself I couldn't see myself with anybody else but him. And
Mm,
I don't know. Like, I feel like he truly came into my life for a reason. We came into each other's lives for a reason.
yeah. Did you
Mhm.
feel like when you met him, I mean, because you said you weren't looking, but
Yeah.
there's a part of people when I talk to women, especially, where if they meet an amazing person or amazing man, they
Hmm.
say, they start self-sabotaging it, feeling like they weren't deserving of it. Now,
Yeah.
being somebody that is working on yourself and closing off your heart just so that way you can work on yourself,
Hmm.
did you feel that way, or did you
I
open
did.
up like I deserved him?
No, we had an issue, and it was because of my self-sabotaging behaviors. Because
Mm,
even though I
hmm.
was working on myself, I still felt like it was just too good to be true. There was still
Yes.
something in me that was like, let me mess this up before the other shoe drops. That way I know who messed it up. I'm the
Yeah.
one who messed it up. I'm in control of that,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so we had to talk about it because I really did. I mean, to be honest, I hurt him. And then, he hurt me. We violated boundaries. But in this, I'm not saying this to say that, we were toxic, but we really did. When I say we had to talk about our traumas, that was one of the things we had to work through and talk about. Like, why did I feel the need to do that? And
Mm.
why did he feel the need to retaliate? Like, we really had to talk about that. And he might kill me, but whatever. He might be like, tell our business. But no, I really want people to know, just whenever somebody violates your boundaries, it's not always a deal breaker because there's some deeper issues that come with that. So it's good to talk about it. You know, you might mess up once, you know, and we get to the issue. Now, if you mess up twice, I'm not that person. You got to go. You gotta
No, and thank
Mhm,
you for even sharing this, and tell
mhm.
him thank you also.
Yeah.
We got his consent through his wife.
Mhm,
But these are things we need to talk about because
mhm.
these are things that break us apart and break us
Right,
down and make us cause us to self-sabotage things that we
right.
have been waiting our whole lives for.
Mhm,
And one of the things that I feel like you're doing that a lot of people say they want to do in the beginning but don't do
mhm,
is the
mhm.
hard stuff, which is
Yes.
communicating about it, talking
Mhm.
about the shit that nobody wants to
Yeah,
talk about.
exactly.
Yeah, that's big.
Exactly. Because it's not, you know, it's not a fairy tale. Marriage is not partnership. Forever partnership is not a fairy tale. And I've never been the girl who believes in fairy tale. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm not a love story girl. I'm an action thriller, suspense, serial. Like that's mine. But
Love
I
it.
am not a fairy tale girl. So it did take me like I remember we had the conversation like you have to be real with me and I'm going to be real with you no matter what it is, like whether it comes to mental health, whether it comes to money, whether whatever, we have to be real with each other because if we're saying till death do us part, that's it. Like that's all. I don't have anything else to say, you know. And so being open and honest really has it saved our relationship and it keeps our marriage bond good because
Mm.
we don't have any secrets, you know. It's just like we're really open about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's really, really good when there's no
Mhm,
secrets, there's nothing to worry
mhm.
about and keep you up at night wondering what's going on in their phone.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah, it's so important. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you're talking about that because there's so many listeners who, I'm sure they privately reach out to you or privately reach out to me and be like,
Hmm.
"What's your advice on this?" And you're just like,
Hmm.
"Mm-mm, nope,
Yeah,
don't
don't do
don't
it.
do that.
Don't do
Don't
it.
do it."
And but I have learned, even with that, I've learned not to always give advice. I
Mm,
say, okay, so what did you feel? How did that make you feel? Now
mm-hmm.
let's really think through it. So I make the other person think through their stuff because I don't want anybody coming back to me saying, well, you told me to do this. No, I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what cousin
That's
did
really
not.
smart.
Yeah.
What kind of practices do you and your husband take part together in?
Um, so it's funny, we just did a podcast yesterday. We talked about it. We love to we play cards and dominoes with each other, you know, and just talk crap because we're both sore winners and sore losers. So we talk crap about it. We love sci-fi. We love comic books. We're the biggest nerds in the world, and I love it. I swear I love it. Like the other day, I texted him about bees not having lungs, and he was like, "You are such a nerd," and I love it. I was like, "I know, right? But baby, look, you know." He just laughed at me. But we have the randomest conversations, and like I said, it's just because I don't have to pretend to be anybody else. I don't have to pretend to be, you know, this sexy sex kitten, you know,
Yeah.
curvy. I don't have to do that because he loves me for my goofy self, and that's all I can
Yes.
present to him. So we do things
Yes.
together. We have fun together. We're friends. You know, we're not just husband and wife. We are friends. So we do friend stuff together.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that. There's so many things I'm like, I love that. I love that. I love that. So let me ask you this, Janae. What do you like about you? What are the most things you like about you? Not love, but like you like that
Right.
about you.
I like that I'm determined. Um, I like that I'm really straightforward. I like that about myself.
Mm.
I don't like to beat around the bush. I don't do a lot of flowery language. Like, just get me straight to the point. I don't need all this when then she said and then I said.
Mhm.
No, what happened? That's all I care. And so I really like that about myself. I like my body. I do. Do I
Mm,
love it? No. But do I like it? Yes. Because it
nice.
has brought me a very long way, you know. Yeah. And I love the fact that I I try to bring as much joy to other people as I possibly can, because the world can be dark. And if somebody just sees me smiling, hey, if I could bring a smile to somebody else's face, that makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you're bringing it to us already. I can feel it. You know, um, the fact that you mention what you like about your body, right? You're
Hmm.
like, I like my body. It's brought me a long way. Can you
Hmm.
touch little bit on that? Because having a relationship with yourself, I feel like that's
Hmm.
kind of the topic.
Yeah.
Um, how is that relationship, including your body?
Body image is big for women. And
Yes,
for me,
absolutely.
yeah, and for me in particular. So I was a collegiate athlete, in my prime, and I'm not in my prime anymore. you know,
Mm-hmm.
my my body is not what it used to be. But I'm thankful and grateful for it. I'm grateful that my legs are still strong. I'm
Yes.
grateful that, I might not be the same weight I used to be. I might be heavier, but I'm still grateful that it's still functioning. And it's doing the things that I needed to do so that I can still enjoy life. I'm not wheelchair bound. I'm not immobile. Like it's still good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now, do I
absolutely.
I wish I could lose some weight? Yes, but I had some health issues recently. I've actually went through like two surgeries last year.
Mm,
So I have to let my body heal still. I
right.
have to love on it. I have to accept it for what it is right now. That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really important to the relationship you have with yourself. 'Cause you
Mhm.
got your body, you got your mind, and you got to deal with
Mhm.
those things daily, what's going on with
Exactly.
that. And then,
Exactly.
so if you don't mind, how do you, well, you don't do this if you don't want to answer this question, but how
Okay.
young are you?
I am 38. I will be
Yes.
39 this year.
Wow, you look phenomenal. Let me just say.
You, I
You're
tried.
glowing. Now, I just turned 40 last summer, and
Uh-huh.
I'm curious about this with, our age group right now.
Yeah,
How has it been like getting, I don't want to use the wrong term because I know everybody's like, well, we're not getting older, we're getting younger.
yeah.
But literally, we're aging,
Yes, we
right? And
are
you
aging.
mentioned
Mhm,
about your body not being able to do what it was in its prime, right?
mhm. Yeah,
And I don't care. People look at me and they're like, oh my gosh, you work out, you this, you that.
yeah.
Let me tell you something. Things have changed. Things
It
are
has
changing.
changed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, we can keep discussing. I never thought that I would get here, where I'm looking and I'm like, goodness, you know, like, I don't know, it was funny when I turned 37, it was my birthday and I dressed up and I got real nice, and I looked in the mirror and I told my husband, "I look like I'm in my late 30s." And he was like, "Baby, you are." He said it. He was like, "No, I'm still mid-30s." He said, "No, baby, we're getting ready to
Mhm.
go over there." And I was like,
Yeah.
"No." It was like I freaked out when I turned 35. It was like, "Oh my gosh." But I ugh, and
Yeah.
it's days where I'm feeling like, "Yes, I'm 38."
Yep.
And then there's some days I'm like, "God dog, I'm 38. My goodness." You know?
I do know.
Ooh, I feel it. I feel it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I know. And so how's it been embracing that though? Because I know I've talked to some women and
Mhm.
they're having a hard time. And I've talked to
Yeah.
someone, they're like, I accept it. It's amazing. How's it been for you?
It's a battle. I mean, there's days I accept it, and there's days where, oh my, it's like I start
Yeah.
thinking about the things I didn't do in my past or
Mm,
mistakes I haven't, I made, and where I could be now. And then there's days where it's like, but look how far you've come, look what you've
right.
accomplished. So it's a battle daily, and that
Hmm.
that's a mind thing and a body thing, and just
Hmm.
everything. Like it's like you just have to accept it.
Yes.
You just have to. I mean, whether you're happy accepting it or sad accepting it, like at some point you come under the realization, like, okay, you're further from 20 than you are, and you're closer to 40, or
Yes.
even you're further from 20 and closer to 50. It's that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thought that's coming in your head.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
like,
I know the feeling. I'm like, oh my gosh, in 10 years, I'm going to be 50. And in 20 years,
exactly.
I'm going to be 60. And
Right.
it's an awakening almost every
Hmm.
day. And I tell myself, well, you better take advantage of right now
Exactly.
because a
Yeah.
lot, if you think it's changed now, just wait, you know?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
time does go by so fast. It's incredibly fast.
Yeah, I tell my students, I said life is long and short at the same time.
Hmm.
It's long when you aren't fulfilling your purpose, and it's short when you're trying to trying to accomplish things and fulfill.
Yes.
And when you get stuck in a rut, it can feel like forever. And then when you hit like a good spot, those sweet spots, sometimes when everything just comes together, it's like short lived. It's like, and then it's like,
Right.
wait, no.
Yeah.
you know, it's just, I don't know. Life is just crazy. I feel like you just have to accept all of it.
Hmm.
All of
Yeah.
it.
What do you feel like? So, how do you feel about the 2021 year? How do you feel coming into it?
Um,
Where are you at with everything?
Considering last year, I didn't like, I was happy just getting out of last year. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. And yeah, because last year was rough. It was rough. Not,
Yeah.
the pandemic stuff, but other things were rough for me.
Hmm.
And so coming into 2021, I was just like, you know what? We are going to choose to live. It doesn't matter. You're just gonna choose to live. That's all we can do. Is choose to live. Every day you live. Every day you do something that makes you happy. Every day
Yes.
you do something that makes you feel accomplished. Whatever you do, you are going to live every day in 2021.
I
That's
love
it.
that.
That's my expectation to live.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. So you
Yeah.
said you journal. What else do you do? Give us a few tips on what, if somebody's trying to figure out how to start having
Hmm.
that good relationship with themselves, what are some steps
Right.
or tips they can do?
So like journaling is big. Journaling is amazing. Also, and it's just, if you don't have time to journal, just sit down for like 10 minutes out of your day and kind of self-reflect on your day. Like, all those thoughts that you're having, because we make split second decisions all day long, all day long.
Hmm.
And then you get home, you're like, okay, let's get ready for the next day. But sit down and really decompress and think about your day. Have some quiet time with yourself. If you want to write, great. If you don't, if you just want to think it out loud, think it out loud. Talk to yourself by
Hmm.
yourself, be by yourself. Although I talk to myself sometimes in the grocery store. It's what it is. But just have a real life conversation with yourself where you're very true to what's going on, what happened with your day. How could you have done something better? If you had like a disagreement throughout your day, like something happened today, and on the car ride home, I was just reflecting over it, and I was like, it is what it is. And some things you're just gonna have to accept, and that it's not gonna change. There's really nothing that you can do about it. Also, in the mornings, I've learned how, like I said before, to have a peaceful routine in the morning because I have anxiety issues. I
Hmm.
make sure I start my mornings off as peaceful and quiet as possible. So if that means, and I had to train myself to do this because I am not a morning person, but I teach high school, so I have to be.
Yeah.
So I've trained myself to wake up about 10 minutes earlier. I come in my living room and I just sit on my couch. I put on some like meditation music, something that,
Hmm.
can let my mind kind of go so I don't think about my thoughts for the day or what I need to do. And I just think about like how my body feels, how my knees feel, how my ankles feel, how does my head feel? I think about stuff like that just to kind of ground me and let me come back to myself, and then I start the day off.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm,
Thank you. It sounds like to me, just by
mhm.
listening to you and kind of doing a speed checkup on a reflection, what we've been
Yeah.
talking about, it sounds like you're really in tuned with your body, with
I try to
like
be.
not just the outside but inside
Mhm,
also, what's going on with
mhm,
you.
mhm.
And I really admire that. I think a lot of people don't stop and take that reflection a lot.
Yes.
So hopefully by listening to Janae, you guys will do
Hopefully,
that.
y'all.
It is very
Yeah.
important.
And I'm not a guru. Like I told y'all before, I have my days. I have my days, and sometimes I have weeks, where things just
Yeah.
not it. But I think it's about just acceptance that every day won't be perfect. As much as we want it to be, it won't be. So you just take your trials and your tribulations and your triumphs and you take them for what they are and recognize them.
Well, yeah, and it sounds like, you're just from where you're at in life, like you have so much good information to give. And what I
Mm-hmm.
really like that you're mentioning, well, that you're kind of I'm trying to think of the right word. Basically, what I'm seeing right now and hearing right now, you're so authentic and
Yeah.
so genuine,
Thank
because
you.
there are a lot of people who go out there and, beat on their chest like they're a
Mhm.
superhero all 24/7,
Mm-mm.
and they don't want people to see, their rough times because they're
Right.
afraid of being imposters or something like that. But with you, you're like,
Mhm.
this is really how it is, and
Yeah.
you're still making it through, you're still climbing, you're still going forward. So that's really admirable.
Yeah, thank you. I think my grandma, my grandmother taught me that. She was like, you're gonna have your good days and your bad days, but keep living. You just keep living. That's it.
Mm,
You'll have your good days, you'll have your bad days, you'll have your amazing days. Keep living. That's the
yeah,
only thing you can really do is keep living.
words of the wise, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I miss that lady because she used to always give me some good things like that. But mhm.
Oh, that's awesome. So let me ask one more question before we
Mhm.
start wrapping this up. Can you share, or do you have any one goal specifically that you are really excited to work towards this year, that you kind of want to share, that you're determined to get or go for?
Okay, so the one thing that I am very determined to do is to learn how to accept my accomplishments and kind of, when I have things for other people, to push it out there. I am not
Mm.
a salesperson. I have stuff that, people are telling me, you should promote that and tell more people about that. And I don't. I have something right now that I don't. So I'm trying to learn how to do that for myself, stand up for myself, and have my own back and talk
Mm.
about it. But I'm getting there slowly, slowly.
Well, hey, it's your goal. I think you'll get there
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
said you're determined. Your own
I am.
words.
I am. I am.
And I'm sure your husband's gonna make it happen.
Oh, he is. He's already asked me. So what are you doing about this? Like minding my business like you should. Like for the conversations we have. I told y'all we
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you're so awesome. I'm so glad you came on this podcast. And so to wrap it up, um, I know you said you're not a salesperson, but this I usually let people have a plug of some sort.
okay.
Say with their events coming up, where to
Mhm.
find you, where to contact you, where websites, podcast information. I'll also put in the show notes, everybody. So let me give you about a couple minutes and tell anything else you want to share with the world. Go.
Okay, so guys, my podcast is called Confessions from a Red Couch. I usually drop a full episode every Wednesday, and I do what's called 5 minutes on the Red Couch on Mondays, where I just do quick lessons that I don't get to touch on in the big podcast, the full episode of the podcast. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at Confessions from a Red Couch. Um, the website is changing, so I'm not giving that out, but I do have a link tree that I will send and you can get everything.
Perfect.
I do have t-shirts. I also, you got to say it, Janae. I also wrote a book. It's called The Journey Back to Loving Yourself. I'm doing this because I have to. It's called The Journey Back to Loving Yourself. It's 2 editions. The second edition is the recent one. I dropped it in December and haven't talked about it until right now.
Ooh.
It is on Amazon. It's an ebook right now. And then I'll put it into paperback. So if you want to get back to loving yourself, and you want to figure out kind of the steps that I took, I kind of like a love letter to myself, so I can always make sure I know that I'm the most important person in the world to me. So, and I want everybody else to feel that about themselves. And I think that's it. Yes, that's it.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. And just to touch on that, I
Mhm.
visited your link tree and I
Oh,
went to the t-shirts right away because I love
oh
apparel.
yeah. Yes.
And I love you for everybody out there, you got to check it out. I saw the book. I thought it was
Yeah.
fantastic. I kind of saw everything. The stickers were amazing. I'm a sticker girl. I was just like, this is cool. I love it. So yeah,
Thanks.
keep promoting yourself. I
I
mean,
am. I
stand
am.
in it, stand in your power
Yes.
because you're amazing. I believe what you
Thank
have is
you.
amazing.
Thank you so
So
much.
you're welcome. Well, everybody, thanks for listening and, subscribe, reach out, share with us what you thought, reach out to all the links and please leave us a review, Sexy Freedom Media on Facebook and Instagram and Hell of a Journey on Instagram. Thank you, everybody, for listening and we'll catch you next time.